Okay, welcome to tonight's chart focus. Going to be a fairly quick one tonight. I've got a fair bit to do this week before I head off to America for 3 weeks holiday on Monday. But I thought let's try and get a quick video done and run through a couple of charts. So, quick look at the XJO. There's the trend line that I put on this a couple of nights ago when we were looking at where potentially this thing could dip. In fact, I'm not even sure that's the trend line it did. I think we looked at a much shorter time frame, and I think we were looking at that little trend line there. I'm not sure, but either one is worth having a look at. It's sort of honouring this little trend line now, so if it bounces off that, this recent trend could still be intact. We could see anywhere down here between 45.50 and 4600 and still keep this uptrend intact. We'll whack those fibs on this and run it from there to there and just that recent range. Oh, let's try again, sorry. Okay, they're the fibs off the most recent range. The 50s around the 4600 there, and that seems like a fairly obvious point to look for some support with previous resistance around the 4600. So there's one line which would definitely be within this zone. I'll just take that line off for a minute and we'll just run it from this recent high down to the low just to get an idea from this range whether we can. Okay, so it's right on about the 62 now, and the 50's down again around about that line somewhere. So that zone is probably where I'd be hoping for some sort of support. US futures are slightly up as I make this video, so who knows, we may honour this sort of trend line here and have some upside in the next few days. That'll be nice before I go on holidays. I'll be happy with that, and then it can dip for a few weeks and be ready to bounce in 3 weeks time when I get back. But plans aren't often that smooth. Alright, first video I want to have a look at. I've mentioned this several times on the Twitter, so I thought I should show you. This is AAX. It had a market update today on its second half earnings, which apparently are looking much better, and as you can see the market loved it. Huge volume, highest volume in 12 months. Broke this downtrend here quite nicely as well, and has tested this $3 res, hit it, and a little bit of profit taking kicked in the afternoon. So you'd certainly think if it can smash through there, through the $3 tomorrow, then there's a fair bit of upside. I'll again run some fibs on this and see if we can get some clues. We'll run it off that range there. So 38 is pretty well around here now, so it's not surprising that that's where it's found some resistance. The 50 looks about the 350 mark, and then we're looking up here around the 380, 390. So anywhere between there and the 380 would be that range that we'll sort of keep our eye on. Chart wise, this previous support here may well become resistance if it can kick on, so that's around 360. So some fairly decent targets if this thing can kick on, but certainly some decent volume today. We'll have a quick look at the intraday chart. What's that? That's a 5-minute chart, and you can see it actually gapped down early. The news come out at about 10:15 or so, I think, so around here. So there's plenty of chance to get in once it broke that first high. Probably the real entry was where it broke the high of Tuesday, which was 250, I think. So that was the obvious entry, was around there. Certainly didn't expect this sort of run out of it, but really nice run out of it. Just look at the volume here on this up leg. A couple of nice bars of volumes, a few smaller ones, but this is the interesting part. Nice reducing volume on the 4 or 5 bars before close. The last bar on close, of course, a little bit higher volume, but that's usual for match out. But really nice reducing volume there. So I wouldn't say there was too much in this little sell-off at the end of the day. Hopefully we'll gap up in the morning and take off from there. As far as a short-term stop, if this doesn't kick on, I'd probably look at a break of this support here. So had some support around 283, 284. I'd certainly be looking for that to hold if there is more weakness early. Okay, next we're going to have a look at is CUS. So that's the CUS chart, held up relatively well today. It's bounced for the last 3 or 4 days. Not an awful lot of volume, but creeping up on this 198 high here. So res, sorry, 198. So that's where I'd be looking for a break. 196.5 was the high today, closed on that high, I think. Yeah, closed on the high. So 198 res, next res probably up here around 208, something like that. You'd think maybe the $2 will be some sort of psychological res being the rounded number, but that chart certainly looks like it's starting to move into an uptrend now with this higher low in place. So worth watching tomorrow. CNX. Okay, another one, bit of decent volume today. We'll just pull this into a 6 month. Actually, might go back. 6 months doesn't really show enough of the picture. Okay, so it's swung pretty decently today and made what looks like a double bottom along here as well. So it's broken this resistance here at 44.5, closed at 45.5. So got resistance here at 46, and then up here 49.5, but and 46 back here as well. So some pretty stiff res around here, but may have some upside if it can kick on tomorrow. Again, I'll be keeping any of these tight, definitely in the conditions we've got at the moment. If it was me and I'd take a position, I'll probably scalp part of it early if it's successful and let the rest run, but I've got a fairly scalpy attitude at the moment, especially because I'm going away on holidays. CVY held up relatively well and testing recent 31-cent res. The only thing I'd be concerned about here is reducing volume this time. So no real volume on the bounce. So it may break, but I'd like to see some more volume kick in for this to interest me a bit more. There's a 2-year chart. Nice rounding sort of shape there, so that's encouraging. Previous resistance maybe up around these 33.5 levels, something like that. And so on. But the chart looks encouraging, but would definitely like to see a bit more volume kick in. Alright, I'm just going to do one more tonight. Like I said, I unfortunately got a fair bit to get done this week. This is PRY. We'll go back to a 6 month chart. Okay, that's the 6 months daily of primary healthcare. Again, what looks like a potential double bottom here from August and now in the middle of November. So some potential for a double bottom to be in play. Bounced to 327 a couple of days ago. A bit of volume started to kick in on the swing bar there, and had news that day as well, which was what? Trading update. So they've liked the trading update. It's ran on Monday, dipped a little Tuesday, dipped again today, but it's actually bounced relatively well. So I haven't even looked at this one until it came up on the scans tonight, but this chart quite interests me because it's obviously been strong today on a weekday, and it's still primarily news driven. So I'll be setting the alert for a break of that 327 high, which is not far away with a close of 324. So I'll probably be eyes on this first thing in the morning and see if we can break through there, because that looks pretty encouraging to me. Alright, that'll do me for tonight. I'll try and do one more video this week before I go, whether on charts or on something a bit more generic, I'm not sure yet, but I'll try and get another one done this week before I leave. Thanks guys.